must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue.
Good morning. Welcome to Right Thinking with Steve Copeland. I'm your host, Steve Copeland, and thank you for tuning in. Let's have a great day. Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And when you listen to this, I pray that I'm having a wonderful day too. And I know that I will be. It's a little bit of a time warp for me because I recorded this show back in July, on July the 15th, actually. Pre-recorded it. I usually don't pre-record. But as you hear this today, live, I will be in Baker City, Oregon, with returning citizens in Powder River Correctional Facility, delivering the message of Right Thinking Foundation of love, encouragement, hope, and providing tools. And I've been preparing for that presentation with the tools and the printouts that I'm going to take with me, trying to give something to the men that will help them as they're released. And so I just say thank you for all of you that have listened to me, been listening to me, and given me this opportunity to go out and serve and to try to help other people. So thank you very much. Last week we had Dave Richards on, that he followed up on the show that I had done on choices, and it was in my mind, it was a very, very wonderful conversation, furthering the conversation on choices. And in fact, Dave says, Steve, that's really your sweet spot, because choices is really what makes or breaks people's lives to be successful or not experience levels of a better life that we're all trying to reach, a certain kind of a enjoyment of life and so forth. We all suffer through. We all persevere. Sometimes people feel like giving up and quitting. But Right Thinking Foundation is here for all of us, myself and all of you that are going through hardships, and people that want to be there to help those that are going through hardships. And so today I've chosen a theme for today's show that is called Having Something in Your Back Pocket. And I've got some stories to share with you today. I've got some experiences that I've gone through that I hope will motivate you to do as much as you can so that you can have something to fall back on and keep the good fight going. So with that said, let's just go into today's biblical theme that I want to present to you. It comes from Matthew 25, verse 23. His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." That is absolutely beautiful scripture. And where it's coming from in Matthew there, it's that the wealthy landowner, the master they called him, when you read this on different levels, the master is obviously Jesus Christ, but in the parable, it's a wealthy landowner, and he's going to take a journey, and so he brings his 3 servants to him, and he gives the first servant 5 talents, which is a very large unit of money. I've researched it, and some people say a talent could be like close to millions of dollars in today's economy. This is a couple thousand years ago, but he gave him 5 talents. He gave the second 2 talents, and he gave the third 1 talent. And the point here is that the scripture has a lot to do with the fact that we all have different abilities and gifts, and the master gave each of them a certain amount that was based on their abilities. And it's not valuing anyone, it's just entrusting them with something that they should be capable of within their own abilities. Well, when he came back, the servant that he had given the 5 talents to reported back to him, and he said, "Master, I have invested the money, and I've doubled it. Now we have 10 talents. And the master said to him, what I just quoted. You have been well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. So he did well. And then the man that he gave only 2 talents to, he doubled it. He also came back with 2 more than what he was given. And the master said the same exact thing to him. But the third that he gave the 1 talent to, he buried the talent because he was fearful of the master, because he felt that the master was a harsh master. He was afraid of him, and the last thing in the world that he wanted to do was risk anything and have it lose and have to face the master after he lost the talent that he was given. He thought that he was doing well with his talent. He buried it. He kept it in safekeeping, and when the master came back, he said, here's the talent that you told me to hold on to for you. Here it is. Well, the master was very, very irate about this, and he basically chastised him royally and sent him down his way. He said he called him, an unproductive servant because he took no risk, because he didn't use his talents. I've said in other episodes, we can't be just lukewarm. We have to either be, all in or just say no. But these are some of the lessons that we're trying to work toward. This particular parable, though, it's very, very important because it goes deeper into other things. The gifts that we have from the Lord, they're not just money. They're things such as our skills, our abilities, connections, social positions, education experiences. Someone who uses their gift to teach a preschool and a church preschool program, for example, is using their gifts. The Lord wants us each to use our gifts. And so that's my lead-in for today's show, it's okay to take a little bit of risk. It's okay to move forward. And it ties into all the other messages that we've been giving as far as trust in the Lord. When you really trust the Lord and you're being obedient and you're getting it right with the Lord and you're becoming a more and more of a righteous person, then you can just move forth in faith. And right before I came on the air today, I was telling Chuck, that's the producer, that it's really neat about this time warp that I'm in, because here I am on Saturday, July the 15th, and in a couple weeks, July the 31st, on a Monday, I'll be in Oregon. And I have to tell you, for all of you that have ever thought about doing something, going after something big, dreaming big, I'm telling you, 50 years in the making for me to be able to go all the way across the United States, from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way to Oregon. One of my favorite songs my whole life was Otis Redding. He sang Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, died the year that I graduated high school, 1969, and it's 3,000 miles I've roamed. Well, this journey for me is 8,000 miles I've roamed just to make this dock my home. What I'm trying to say to you is that it's emotional for me to know that I have persevered. I've tried to develop my skills and my abilities. I've tried to associate with the right people. I've tried to do it all with integrity and honor my good name, the things that I try to teach. And I see myself right now, I'm leaving in 4 days to go on the trip. It's almost like a dream to see myself all the way out there, standing in front of another group in prison that I've done hundreds of times, and sharing my love and encouragement to the men that I'm going to meet. And it's a blessing for me to be able to do that. And I thank each and every one of you that are paying attention to the work of Right Thinking Foundation for the love and the support and the encouragement that you give to me. But keep going after that dream that you have, and you'll get it. And what I said to Chuck was, this is really interesting. This is kind of like faith. The people that I'll be talking to in the future for all these broadcasts, I don't know who they are. I just know that they're there, that they're going to be there, and that I'm putting my messages out for future people that will stumble onto or find out about this broadcast that y'all are listening to right now. So for that, again, I say thank you. What I want to talk about today is the importance of financial stability and living in a way that you discipline yourself so that you can not do things that are just totally wasteful without purpose, so that you will be in a better position to deal with life when some of the some of the curveballs come at you, when some of the hardships come your way, when some of the unexpected things that you have no control come at you, the job layoff, the health problem, the accident, the divorce, whatever it may be. And I'm not just focused in my life on the hardships. There is so much beauty in this life. I embrace this life. I love living in this life. But we need to prepare for that rainy day. And a person who's just living day by day, hand to mouth, will not be able to face the pressures of something very, very difficult, tragic that comes along. And it'll put them into a panic mode. It'll put them into just reaching for straws, grabbing for a solution, looking for a quick answer. And in all the years that I've been doing personal financial counseling, it's not just the 5.5 years I've been in prisons. I've been doing it. I've been doing it since I was 18, 19 years old, working on personal budgets with people. And then I became an accountant, graduated VCU in 1975. I had to think. I dropped out of college twice. But my point is that I have developed counseling in the financial area that will help people to be able to better handle their financial life in order to be able to move forward in life and have a better life. And today's show, I'm going to tell you a story in a minute that's just a profound story that was shared with me. But we want to be able to acquire things called assets, things of value. An asset doesn't have to be money. It could be something that you've got a good reputation. A good reputation, a good name is probably the best asset you could ever have. Because if you need help sometimes and you've got good credit, that's a good asset. Credit is a powerful asset. And credit stems from honoring your commitments. I've taught that in my seminars on credit. But if you have good credit and something happens to you and you're in a bind, in a tough place, there will be people out there. It could be family, friends, associates, employers, banks, whatever, that will be there to help you if they trust that you will honor your commitment. But right now, it's best to not have to rely on credit if you have accumulated enough stability in your life to have your own things of value that you can use when you need to. And I've got a family that I want to tell you a little story about that just came up today. And I won't use any names. It's confidential when you share things with me, but there's a family. And the son goes through a lot of financial difficulty and is a wonderful father, a loving husband, has kids, and his finances, though, are always very, very difficult. No savings, not good credit, works hard, has a lot of personal situations in the family that he's as much of a man as anybody that I know for dealing with this situation, family health crises and so forth that he just deals with. There was a truck repossessed, and there was no money to get it back. So it's a family trauma. It goes into all sorts of relationships that are involved within this family. And so the point is that there was no resources. There were no, I'll say was, I'm not sure of the grammar. There aren't any resources available within this person's own possessions, bank accounts or money under a pillow or whatever, to go get his car back, his truck back. So other family members, are getting involved. But so here's what I wanted to tell you. My life, coming from what they call a broken home, and what's kind of tragic is that 1958, when my parents went through